Hello, beautiful beings. Why? I was just asking the ancients, why do I have to keep going back to something until I absolutely get it? Because if I'm going back to something that isn't good for me over and over, it's going to hurt. Which is wonderful that it does hurt, because that's what finally gets me to stop doing it. I have finally gotten through the lust lesson without getting my ass kicked too severely. They're giving me an example of, and they're saying that, why do we keep going back? Round and round and round. I thought I was already through this. Why did I go back? I knew better. My intuition was telling me not to. Why did I go against my intuition? It's the nature of learning lessons on planet Earth. That's what it takes to get the lesson, to not just know something, but to know it. To know it, to go from stick shift to automatic. Yeah, so they're giving the example of seeing this cake, and it's, oh my gosh, it looks absolutely delicious. But every single time I have some of this cake, I get the worst stomach ache ever. But I keep going back for more because it looks so good. Which is pretty fitting for the lust lesson. It wasn't too brutal last night, but I finally got my shift. I even wrote on my calendar today, no more kissing. And then I'm just gonna call him Frank. No more kissing Frank. I had it on my calendar today because, as they were pointing out to me this morning when I was in the shower, ancients, please slow me down a little bit. Anything that I have ever quit in my life that wasn't for my highest good, drinking, smoking cigarettes, anorexia, smoking marijuana, I have had a day where I quit doing those things. And I don't do it again. That's what quitting is. You don't keep going back to it, back and forth, back and forth. That's a part of the process of quitting a lot of times. And they said that it's zero different with Frank, the lust lesson guy. So that was incredibly helpful because that really simplified it for me. Oh, it's just another thing that is not for my highest good that I don't need to do anymore. And I can see exactly. And people looking from the outside, it's always easier to look from the outside into somebody's life and go, well, why didn't you know that, do that, or you already knew that? No, that may be for people that actually don't learn lessons, and you don't know the nature of learning lessons. Anyway, last night, Frank and I have been getting along so great for the last week because his dad has been in town, and I haven't seen Frank drunk. He's remained open and really sweet, and he's really felt like a friend of mine, and I got along so great with his dad. And then comes yesterday, his dad left, and Frank had messaged me before he got off work, and I knew he was incredibly sunburnt. I had loaned him my aloe vera gel a couple days ago, but I did not offer to put it on because I've been trying not to go there at all, because it's not for my highest good in any way, shape, or form to have anything physical to do with this man. I absolutely know this, but I have been tempted, very, very tempted, because I'm having a human experience. I'm not Mother Teresa. She was probably tempted too at times, I don't know, but we're all having this human experience, and lust is an incredibly potent feeling to have. So, and yeah, I'm a sucker for a really, really loving man too, and he's been incredibly sweet and loving this whole last week, consistently so, and not showing any any signs of lust, none of that, just giving me hugs and just being really sweet. So yesterday he messaged me before he got off work and asked he said, I'm really miserable because of this sunburn, could you please put some of this aloe vera gel on my back? And I didn't even ask the ancients. I just said yes. I just texted yes, but I was like, yes, I would love to do that. And So he got off of work and he hadn't been drinking. He had just got off work. He came right over here. I stood up on the couch and he held his hair up, and he's blonde. He held his hair up and I put it all over his really broad back. And then all the way down to his waist, and he was burnt on his sides too, and I got down off the couch and I went around the front and I said, here, you just keep holding your hair up, I'll put it on the front too, I know you need help with that. And we were laughing and talking, and it all just felt so wonderful. And so I got done with that, and then he has his other job, his other full-time job, and then comes and works here at the park also. And I really admire somebody with a strong work ethic, because I have one too. And it makes this alcoholic seem even more attractive to me, because no matter what he goes through, he doesn't miss work. Like, he just keeps working. But they're reminding me that being a workaholic is also a sign of avoidance, avoiding any type of introspection. It's socially acceptable to be a workaholic. So I got done doing that, and he walked out my door and he said, can I come and bug you after I get off of work? And I said, yeah. And so he left. He's just like, okay, great, see you later. And he worked for a few hours and then messaged me and he said, okay, I'm off work, I'm going to take a shower and I'll be over. What that said to me is, since he lives 4 spaces away, I'm going to take a shower and be over. That means a half an hour tops. So I laid down on the couch with Doozer, and Ruby was already here. She was laying on the floor taking a nap. And some time went by. Well, I was listening to a life-giving video from Samanari Jayasara, and it was like a 45-minute long one, and I listened to that and started thinking, where is he? He should have been here by now. And all I kept hearing, of course, was, well, he's drinking. He's drinking. He's drinking. I'm like, I know he's drinking. I know he is, and I absolutely didn't want him to come over. But I fell asleep listening to her. She's very easy to fall asleep to. Her voice is so soothing. So I fell asleep, and then I woke up, and it was almost 2 hours later, and I woke up with a feeling of panic. No, I really don't want him over here. He's been drinking this whole time. And so I messaged him and I said, I fell asleep. Whenever you're done doing what you're doing, please just come and get Ruby. And he messaged me right away and said, I'm so sorry, I've been talking to my mom this whole time. And I was a little suspicious of that, but his dad just left, and it kind of made sense to me. So he said, I'll be right over. And I was just like, I didn't respond, but I was just like, oh no. Oh crap. I heard it earlier also. See, that's where a person can really learn, is because I heard my intuition before I fell asleep. I was hearing it loud and clear that he was drinking and that he had no business being over here. So what I should have done, and what I will do from this day forward, is I will heed that. I will not ignore it. I won't just go to sleep. I will bring Ruby home. I will bring Ruby back over to his place, and so he won't have any reason to come over here. It doesn't even matter if he had a reason to come over. I have my boundaries firmly in place now. There's nothing more important for me to do, they're saying, than to protect myself from much lower vibrations and from people that just want something from me. So he ended up coming over right away after that, and he came in and he sat down right here in front of my door on the floor, and he was petting Ruby, and I was taking his temperature. Trying to gauge, how much has he drank, because I knew he had. I didn't smell it, but that doesn't make any sense. I've seen empty bottles of vodka over at his place, even though he usually drinks beer. I was just like, it doesn't matter if I can't smell it. So he was talking like he has this whole week. People are really, really good at pretending like they're okay. I was really good at it for a really long time. People could not tell that I had been drinking as much as I had either. I was really, really good at faking it. I was so good it almost killed me. So he sat there long enough, like 10 minutes, and I started feeling really comfortable because it was just a lighthearted, happy conversation we were having. And I said, go ahead and sit up here on the couch. And so he sat at the other end of the couch, and we kept talking, and then he got a work phone call. He's on the day shift, and this man on the night shift called him and was asking him questions about lumber. And in the moment, I didn't realize what I was doing. I see it fully now, but these thoughts were coming in. I was watching him. He wasn't looking at me, and I don't know if he could. It didn't seem like he could see me out of his peripheral watching him, but I was staring at him, and I was thinking very lustful thoughts, and thinking about how handsome he is and how beautiful he is, and just like the sweat on his face, and yeah, totally lusting after him, his beautiful blonde hair and how long it's getting. And anyway, so I was getting myself, worked up, and he got off the phone, and I said, that man really appreciated your help. I could totally feel that. And he was like, yeah, he said, I don't understand why he needs my help, because he's the one that, hired me to work exactly where he's working. He's been doing this job a lot longer than I have, so I don't really understand why he needs help like that. But so anyway, it was that kind of talk, and then I got up and came in the kitchen and got my water, and then I was walking back by, and he grabbed me and put me on his lap, and started giving me those hugs, and started kissing my neck, and I mean, it was on. We started kissing, and it was really wonderful for about 6 to 8 minutes. I mean, it was just so amazing. The kissing is so, because I've been abstinent from sex for 7 years next month, and before that it was 2 years at a time, and then I would have a friend, and for 1 or 2 times, and then I would abstain for 2 more years. I've really been trying to not go down that road unless I'm with somebody that I love, somebody that I'm in a relationship with. So I feel like I've been doing really well in 7 years. I mean, that's a lot of self-love there. And this is the first major lust lesson that I've had, and it's lasted almost 3 months now, and I'm finally through it. I probably said that before in my other videos about it, but I can feel when I've had a complete shift in myself, and I will not, and I can see it. My light of awareness is shining on it so brightly that there's no illusion anymore. I won't go with those thoughts anymore. I won't entertain those thoughts anymore. I won't take the actions anymore. I won't let him come over after he's been drinking. I won't kiss him. I won't hug him in that certain way. I won't do any of those things. It's just like not picking up a drink, or not picking up a cigarette, or marijuana, or not starving myself. It's exactly the same. All of those things were very self-defeating after a certain point in my life. Well, anorexia was never for my highest good, except for the lessons that I learned. There's a paradox for you. But alcohol, at a certain time in my life, I feel like actually saved my life, because it quieted my mind down when nothing else would. But after a while, it just made it start getting louder. So, we're kissing and hugging and laughing, and it all just felt so loving and wonderful and passionate, and then all of a sudden I'm trying to block his hands, and he can be really rough with me too, and I'm just like, ow, that really hurts my side. You're freaking digging into my side so hard. Like, I'm small, I'm kind of fragile. I'm strong, but I'm also fragile. And he's just like, oh yeah, that didn't hurt. Yeah, it did hurt. Yeah, please don't do that. And that was my first glimmer of annoyance. And then I'm blocking his hands, and then he says, you keep blocking me. I'm like, well, yeah, because I'm not going that far with you. I don't want to do that. I don't want to go that far. And he was just like, and then he said, then the fucker showed up. And he was probably here the whole time, but just knows to be able to be around me, he has to act like a open-hearted, loving man. But the fucker showed up, and he said, you're a real tease, aren't you? And he has said that to me before, and that's really mean. I said, that's so mean of you to say to me, because you know I'm not a tease. I said, you're the one that started this. We were both doing it. And just because I value myself, you're calling me a tease because I'm stopping because I value myself so much? And he was just like, well, you're so in your head. Why can't you just live in the moment? Why can't you just be here now? Like, and he tries to use all these spiritual words he's heard me say. And I said, well, to be here now, to be present, to live from the moment means that I make choices based on my highest good. And oh yeah, whatever. And he's just like, you know, it would be wonderful. It would be really awesome. And I said, and I've tried really hard not to let myself get upset when these things happen with him. But I definitely feel a lot of pressure in my neck and my head. And I start feeling super frustrated. And I said, you know, I have been really tempted at times. And I said, I'm sure that we would have already done it if you would have brought me the proof that you had actually went to the doctor and got a clean bill of health and have 0 venereal diseases. And he was just like, well, I went a couple months ago and I told you that I was 100% clean on every single thing they could have tested me for. And I said, well, you're saying that, but I need proof. Well, I can't believe you think that I would even have something. Why wouldn't I believe that you have something? My intuition tells me you have something. I didn't say that part. But I said, why wouldn't I think that it's a possibility that you have something? You're a human being, and you've even told me that you've been in blackout drunks and you've had sex with women and don't even remember it. How do you know they didn't have something? He was just like, well, yeah, that's true. And he said, well, it'd be really easy. I'll get you the proof. And I said, well, you said that a couple months ago too, but I knew that was the divine absolutely saving me. Because if I had proof in front of my eyes that this man was 100% clean from disease, I don't know if I would have been able to resist this. But thank goodness it was a big enough brick wall that has kept me, because I'm not going there. I'm not putting myself in that position at all. No way. To be worried that I have something when I know that I'm absolutely 100% clean myself, to put myself in that position because of lust, oh my gosh, no way. Absolutely not. So he's just like, well, why do you have to complicate this so much? I said, what? And he said, well, getting you the proof. I said, well, 2 seconds ago you said it'd be really easy to get me the proof. Well, I'd have to go online and sign up for this patient portal and try to get my information that way. And I said, they're your records. You call the place and you say, I need my records for my last visit. And then they print them out and they send them to you, or you go pick them up. And he was dumbstruck at that point because he knew that was the truth. And all of a sudden, in that moment of silence, I had 100% complete clarity. I felt and saw like this shift inside of myself. Something came together like 2 puzzle pieces. It was like the 2 parts of, like I was, like there was this space inside of myself, and all of a sudden it clicked together. And the switch flipped. And I started laughing. The ancients are saying that is me perfectly aligning with my intuition, with them, with the divine. And that is 100% complete, beautiful clarity. And I started laughing and laughing and laughing. He's just like, what? What's so fucking funny? And I said, I just got it. I understand why you're protesting so much. I understand why you're being so pissy about it. I understand why you're trying to put me down so you can get what you want. You never went to the doctor. You never did. And that's all I had to say. And I was still laughing. When the realization comes and it's just pure divine clarity, for some reason there's just this laughter that bubbles up with it. And I wasn't trying to stop it. I did say I'm not making fun of you right now, but I see it clearly now. I absolutely see it 100% that you did not go to the doctor. That's why you can't show me the proof. And he had nothing to say. He was that was it. When people hear the truth, even though he wasn't aware of it, it's they're showing me that nothing that he could say to my persona that would have maybe gotten through that was gone, completely gone. I was just pure presence at that moment, which we all are, but at that very moment, I was immersed in presence. Mind was completely gone. I was seeing right from my heart, and there's nothing that he could have said that could have gotten him what he wanted at that point. And so I have had a complete shift. I don't know if I already said this or not, but I wrote on my calendar today, like I have with everything I've ever quit in my life, I have always written down the day that I quit it. And today I wrote down no more kissing Frank, even though that's not his real name. No more kissing or hugging Frank. Which the hugging part kind of goes against my nature because I love hugging people, certain people, but I have no business hugging him anymore because it's not for my highest good. Oh, I'm so grateful I've got through this one. It used to take me years to get through life lessons, and now it's a matter of, it hasn't even been 3 months with this lesson, and I finally got it. And I think I've probably said that in other videos about this, that I finally got it, but I definitely got it this time. There's no mistaking when it's actually taken root in me and fully bloomed. So, and a person can ask, well, but you already knew these things and your intuition was telling you not to do that. Well, that's a part of the life lesson, is being able to override the feelings that this physical form gets and all the different really, really intense emotions that I can feel. It used to be such a struggle to go against any really good feelings because I felt like, well, why do I have to get rid of the really good feelings too? I just didn't feel fair at all. I didn't complain about getting rid of the bad feelings, but to get rid of the good feelings too? I'm having this human experience. Why can't I just be human? Well, because we're not. We're not really humans. It's an experience. We're beautiful beings. We're the divine expressing through these physical forms. And if it's not for my highest good, whatever the it is, it's not for the highest good of humanity. All I've ever begged for a really long time is to be a clear, open channel for the divine to pour through to help others. And so by trusting my intuition implicitly, that's what I get to do. So try not to be hard on yourself if you feel like you keep going back to the same lesson over and over and you're like, oh, I thought I already got this. You'll get it. Just don't ever give up. They're saying that there are women right now that are falling for men that have convinced them that they even love them, but they don't. They just want to use them, and these women are going to get pregnant and get diseases, and that would be an absolutely horrible place to be. So if you're on the verge of doing that, we would love to talk to you about that so we can help you trust your intuition and maybe help you avoid those terrible pitfalls. And if you've already come to that point in your life and you're alone because you trusted a man, I'm not putting all men down, but there are definitely a lot of men that act very loving. They act a certain way to get what they want. We would love to talk to you about that and help you learn how to trust your intuition so you can navigate your life and other life lessons and never go down that road again. At least not as far. It's like going down roads. I can keep going down them, but I don't walk down them as far as I did before. And then I don't walk down that road anymore at all. I'm just like, oh, I know what's down that road. saltsongwithmamag@gmail.com. Love you so much.